Get the money! Me and my brother will watch the kids!
Diablo, qué mierda.
And here we are, the final part of my GTA 4 retrospective. Like the Lost and Damned, I walked into playing this DLC mostly blind, as I'd only ever played it once, and only really remembered vague things about the expansion's story. But little did I know, this would end up being my favorite part of the entire GTA 4 experience. Like the last two videos, I'll be going through my recent playthrough, critiquing and discussing how I feel about its design, story, and characters. So let's get into it. The Ballad of Gay Tony follows Luis Lopez, the bodyguard, driver, and sort of business partner of Tony Prince, the titular Gay Tony. Luis previously showed up during the main campaign, first as a bystander during the bank heist mission, showing up to steal the diamonds during the Libertonian mission, and again meeting up with Nico and Packy McCreary to exchange said diamonds for Gracie Ancelotti. Also during the Lost and Damned DLC, he would show up when he, Gay Tony, and Tony's boyfriend Evan bought the diamonds from a ship cook, before they were ambushed by Johnny and the Lost. Luis is the youngest of the three protagonists, being the most level-headed, down-to-earth, and most in control of his emotions, though he can get just as angry as the other two when pushed far enough. He's also the only one of the three who left his criminal past behind.
Oh, rest of you motherfuckers wanna die? Do something stupid, okay?
Well, sorta, as he was a drug dealer during his younger years, leaving the life when Gay Tony offered him a job as his bodyguard. This helped him move out of his old neighborhood for a better and more glamorous life, something his old friends and family resent him for, treating him like he's now an out-of-touch yuppie. Though it isn't all fancy clothes, expensive dining, and fast cars for Luis, as unfortunately Gay Tony is a terrible business owner, as a combination of the bad economy, his lavish lifestyle, his drug habit, and just some really bad deals he's made, has left him in a lot of debt, and now making deals with some less than savory types. This frustrates Luis to no end, as he's basically doing Tony's job for him by running the clubs, along with being forced to do favors for those same people his boss owes money to. Despite those frustrations though, Luis does his best to help his boss, who does feel guilty about the stress he puts on his partner, and does value all Luis does for him. This dynamic has the two form a rather odd father and son relationship. This DLC starts us during the bank heist from the original game, with Luis giving a statement to the police after Nico and his group leave. He'll then call up his boss to let him know what happened while making his way to Gay Tony's apartment. Once he arrives, Gay Tony will vent to him about his issues, pretty much going over everything I just previously mentioned about him. Soon the pair have company, joined by Rocco Pelosi and his uncle Vince.
Hey, Tony! The door was open. Man, it's easier to get into your apartment than into your nightclub.
Yeah, we have a no guido policy at the club. Here I ain't so sure.
Oh, I love getting racially abused by a spick.
Yeah, who's a fucking taco, Tony?
My business partner, Luis. Gentlemen, watch your language. We're in the great melting pot. We're not spicks, or guidos, or fags. We're proud Americans.
The two of them members of the Ancelotti crime family. They're here to pick up a payment from Gay Tony. Rocco wastes no time in starting shit with Luis, and it's pretty much every shitty stereotype about Guidos rolled into one. And kind of sounds like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Hey, man, he is kind of cute.
Tonight, you.
What do you think he means? Tonight, you. Like he's threatening me or something.
See you later. Oh, nice to meet you, Muscles.
Fuck, there goes payroll.
Can't wait to inevitably kill that guy. Luis is less than pleased by the situation, especially since he just risked his life taking out cash for his boss. Gay Tony brushes it off and tells him not to worry about it, as the two leave to check in on his businesses. They'll briefly stop by the gay nightclub Hercules first, before setting in at Masonette 9. At the club, you can take shots, get into drinking games, or hit the dance floor to show off your moves and potentially pick up some ladies. You know, despite it being very simple at its core, the dancing minigame really threw me for a loop at first. I thought it was going to be the usual just press the right button at the right time like other dancing minigames. Instead, you just move one of the analog sticks in time with the rhythm of the song, and hold it when it tells you to. But since I'm rhythmically challenged, my dumbass couldn't really wrap my head around that at first. So I just kind of did nothing or moved it at random times instead. Eventually I figured out that you just had to move the stick after every beat. But I really gotta wonder what it says about me that I'm thrown out by such a simple concept. Subscribe to my channel to see me engage in even more dumbassery. The dancing minigame isn't mandatory outside of one mission later, but if you succeed, you'll hook up with the girl you're dancing with and get her number for future booty calls. Booty calls don't really do anything outside of getting an achievement and healing Luis to full health, but it's a fun little distraction in between missions. After having some fun, Luis will hear a commotion at the entrance of the club, finding his friends Armando and Enrique hassling the bouncer.
You ain't coming in. Not in them clothes. Not with that attitude.
Enjoy looking for a job in this economic climate, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yo, what the fuck, eh?
Tell this clipboard and earpiece motherfucker to back up, Al.
Back up!
The three of them grew up together on the same block, all rolling in the same gang slinging drugs before Luis went to jail. While he's trying to live an honest life now, his friends are still in the dope game. Their lack of skill set, and in Enrique's case, intelligence, makes it impossible for them to hold down a real job. Luis still encourages his friends to find something else despite that, but they instead decide they can become bigger in the drug game through Luis's help. After dropping them off, you can head back to Luis's apartment to end the mission and be introduced to the brand new scoring system. And I'm not really a fan of it at all. Anytime you complete a mission, you'll be given a score on how well you did during that mission, tallying up your completion time along with how many optional objectives you've completed. The problem is, unless you have a guide open, you have no idea what those objectives are until after you've beaten the mission. But you can't repeat the mission right away either, and have to wait till you've beaten the DLC to do so. It feels like such an unnecessary decision, stripping away player freedom and forcing them to play the mission a certain way or rush through it in order to get the best score. And there's no reward for getting 100% outside of an achievement. Just feels like an artificial way to extend the game's replayability. They'd end up bringing the mechanic back for GTA 5 too, though tweaked slightly to give medals as opposed to a numerical score. And if I remember correctly, making it so you can replay missions after completing them, as opposed to waiting to beat the game there. And yeah, I know I'm not being held hostage and can just choose to ignore it and play the game that I want to play it, but it can still feel like a punch in the nuts to barely survive through a tough mission, or fail it several times, only to see a shitty score stare you in the face when you finally complete it.
Oh, where the fuck have you been, man?
Yeah, I came as soon as I could.
I don't pay for as soon as I could.
In the morning, we return to Tony's apartment, who's stressed out now as the full realization for all his fuck-ups have finally hit him. Outside of his drug habit, his boyfriend's expensive tastes, and the bad economy, he's somehow made his business dealings even worse. Having sold the business to two separate groups, already spending most of their cash, and just waiting for both of them to find out and presumably kill him. Luis doesn't sweat it too much, trying to calm his boss down, reminding them that they've been in shit before, and together manage to find a way out. Gay Tony appreciates his optimism, but explains that they'll have to play nice and cozy up to the people they're in debt to, which means working for them, and having to deal with that prick Rocco again. We'll find him at the golf course, still as charming as ever.
Oh!
Rock, hey, how are you?
There they are, the spick and the fag. Tony, shit, you got burrito breath. You ain't been eating Mexican again, have you?
He's putting the squeeze on a union boss to find out what other families are running his operation, and he asks for some assistance. And rather creatively, instead of doing the usual find and shoot the guy kind of mission, we're playing golf. Rocco has the guy strapped to a golf cart, and you'll have to aim your golf swings in order to hit him with the ball.
There you go!
Once you've got the information Rocco needs, the union boss's protection shows up, engaging in a shootout.
Oh, we were just having a discussion.
After which you'll need to escape by golf cart.
Come on, put some distance behind us.
Yo, Rocco, you piece of shit. What you got us into?
Shut up, Lou. We didn't mean anything by it.
despite all the shit they just went through, the pair are far from paying off Gay Tony's debt, and Rocco assures them he'll remain in touch. I think it's time to go home and check on my mama.
Mami, soy yo.
Ay, Luis. Hey, hijo, ¿quieres un cafecito?
Sí, un ching.
Un ching. Luis, this is Mr. Santos.
What's going on?
Hey, I guess I didn't recognize you from your mom not having any pictures of you up on the walls.
Yeah, I guess she doesn't have any up.
Now you mention it. I guess mugshots don't sit along too well with graduation shots.
Hey, who the fuck are you?
Things aren't great, as Luis's mother has gotten herself into debt with this shady loan shark, Santo. He and Luis take an instant dislike to each other, and Luis is just about to take care of him then and there, before Santo threatens to burn down his mother's building. He offers a deal to cover her debt, walking Luis to an underground cage-fighting arena. Apparently, Luis used to fight here back in the day, and had quite the reputation as a brawler. Santo wants Luis to fight again, having him fight 3 opponents, but taking a dive on the last guy. This setup for the mission is certainly cool, but the game's melee mechanics don't lend themselves well for this. There isn't enough move variety, and melee is just too slow and clunky for it to feel rewarding. This can also make it hard to survive the last fight, as you keep any damage you take between rounds. Do as Santo says and take a dive, and he'll forgive your mother's debt. Though she's pretty ungrateful about it when she calls you later.
I took a dive in that fight for you, Mommy. You don't know that guy any more money.
What do you mean you took a dive? Do you mean you lost? You claim to be some big shot, and you can't even win a fight for your mama?
I lost a fight for you, Mommy.
I didn't ask you to lose no fight. I did not ask for losers in my family.
You know what? Forget about it, Ma. Just don't go borrowing any more money. See you soon.
Despite not caring much for this mission, I do like the hidden alternative way to finish it. Even though Santo in the game makes it clear you have to lose, you can actually choose to win instead. You won't fail the mission and instead piss off Santo, who pulls a gun on Luis, giving you the option to kill this fool to clear his mom's debt. Too bad she's still ungrateful and will still scold Luis for what he did, despite the fact that this whole mess is her fault in the first place.
My boy, what have you been doing?
I've been taking care of things for you, Ma. That guy ain't coming around no more. Don't worry about it.
What kind of attitude is that to give your mama? Do you think you're something special? Like some baseball player? Like some gangster?
Mommy, I didn't imply anything like that.
You organize parties, Luis. You're a bouncer? Don't act a big shot with me because I know who you are.
Mommy, you don't know me. The most important people in the world come to our clubs, and I look after them. I am something, and I look after you. I'll see you soon, okay? Bye.
Wow, an unpleasable mom who constantly criticizes you and nothing is ever good enough for her? Hitting a little too close to home here, Rockstar. Regardless of how you beat the mission, you'll unlock cage fighting as an optional side mission to make cash, either by betting on fights or competing. Heading back up the block, Luis will bump into Armando and Enrique doing a drug deal. The 3 of them will catch up and talk shit, briefly talking to Luis's mom before they leave to meet a potential drug partner. I really like the dynamic between Luis and his old friends, the way they shoot barbs at each other, try to clown the other, and Luis's general want of a better life for his buddies all feels real and genuine.
You want a job, bro? I'll get you a job, man. You know that.
Yeah, for sure, man. I want a job sucking some aging playboy's cock. I want that job real bad. Sign me the fuck up.
You're such a dick, bro.
You would know.
The trio will eventually reach the docks to meet with their connection, and despite this not being an Elizabeth Torres mission, their drug deal goes south, as the cops were listening in on the phone conversations Armando had with his supplier, and followed them. Time to take out Liberty City's finest and make our getaway, with Armando giving us a new weapon, the assault shotgun. Once they're in the clear, they flee the scene and head back to Northwood, Luis giving his friends advice on how to succeed in the drug business. This will unlock Drug Wars, which serves a similar function that Gang Wars did in the last DLC. During Drug Wars, you'll team up with Armando and Enrique to rip off rival gangs for their supply, either by stealing their drug van, ambushing a convoy protecting said drug van, or ambushing a deal in progress and killing everyone until the bag of drugs spawn. And just like Gang Wars, you'll unlock a weapon at Luis's safe house for every 10 missions you complete. I like Drug Wars more in comparison to Gang Wars. They tend to be a lot simpler and go by much quicker, though they can still be difficult. That, and I just love the banter between Luis and his friends.
You know, for a fool with a gay boss, you can help.
I say the same anything to Enrique.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing, bro. Nothing at all.
Next job has Luis picking up gay Tony, the pair once again having to do a job for Rocco. They'll head to Chinatown to meet with the Triads, and we get a scene with Billy Gray talking to their leader before the two show up. As it turns out, Billy made a deal with the Triads to give them their drugs back in exchange for them killing Johnny in the last DLC. I'm not sure if this scene was really warranted, to be honest, as everything about that mission when playing it made it obvious Billy was setting Johnny up. Hell, the idea of selling the drugs back to the Triads sounded like a bad idea from the get-go. And it made perfect sense that they'd try to kill Johnny and Jim as opposed to making a deal. Guess the devs didn't want to leave it too ambiguous and wanted to paint Billy as an even bigger asshole than he already was.
Boo. Hey, watch it, you greaseball fuck.
I apologize for our associate's uncouth manner.
Luis and Gay Tony's dealings with the Triads don't go much better, as Rocco oversold what the two are capable of. Specifically, he promised the Triads these two would get them a liquor license, and ease some problems with the planning department. Once Luis explains, rather sternly, that no, they can't do that, shit hits the fan. The pair will now have to shoot their way through dozens of Triads, Luis making use of a new weapon, the Assault SMG. It shoots real good. Thankfully, it's not an escort mission, as you don't have to worry about Tony getting killed. Damn, that was some rough shit. I think I'm gonna go visit my mama again.
Qué rico, Mrs. L.
Thank you, Mrs. L. Mami, it's me.
Ah, hello, baby.
Hola, mami, ¿cómo está? Hi, hi.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Ay, Dios mío, mami, pero ¿qué es esto? You always taking care of the down and outs.
Hey.
Dropping in on her, she's in a cheery mood, and feeding our two idiot friends. It's a quick gathering before Luis scoops them up for a job they want to do. Also, another less than wholesome moment between Luis and his mom.
Go to school. Go somewhere. It's not too late, my baby.
Mami, but you got it all wrong. I mean, it's not like that anymore. You know, I know good people, I know bad people, you know, but I know the difference. I mean, I know I made mistakes, but things are better now. I mean, how many times we gotta go over this?
If things are better now, then why are you always like this?
Hey, but you take the money, right? You take the fucking money every time.
Get out of my house. What choice do I have? I lost my job.
Yeah, well, call one of the other kids, the one you ain't ashamed of.
Really, it's just there to spell out that Luis is the unfavorite in his family. But his mom still takes the help he offers because he's the only one taking care of her and looking out for her. Normally, I wouldn't read too deep into this stuff during missions, but I can't really help but sympathize with Luis. I think a lot of people can relate to trying to move on and do better after your own personal fuck-ups. Taking pride in your new accomplishments, only for others to treat you like you've never changed, and that you're not good enough unless you do things their way. And yes, I realize Luis is still technically a criminal, but his mom doesn't know everything he's up to. Only the company he keeps. Said company who she treats better than her own son. And she still takes his money when he offers it, despite what she says. Anyways, this mission is to help these two dummies protect their drug shipment from the other rival gangs. Whoa, growing their drug empire needs them stealing drugs. And here they are, having to defend their own drugs from being stolen.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
Now's the time I end up dealing with the other person who has a stake in Gay Tony's businesses.
Hey, Lou!
It's Luis.
Yeah, whatever. Come here, give me some love right here. You know, I'm guessing, just from looking at you, you ain't exactly packing a 10-inch hose, man. Me? I make girls wince. Wince.
Just to level with you for a minute, bro. Tony owes you money. Tony's my boss and my friend. So I'll help you out a little. But if you mention my host again, I'll put you in the fucking ground.
Maury Kibitz. And if that last name sounds familiar, well, it shouldn't, because I never mentioned it in the last two videos. But Maury is our old friend Brucey's older brother, and much, much more annoying. Take everything that made Brucey obnoxious in the base game, his overconfidence, his bullshit lifestyle, his steroid abuse, and turn it up to 11 and throw in a height complex for good measure, along with a midlife crisis of his spray tan and bleached hair or anything to go by. After his annoying introduction and having to watch Maury bully his younger brother,
Jesus, who is training you? Man ought to be horsewhipped. Look at you. You're lumpy. Oh, you're like awful, like a big pale mess. And you're fat, bro. You're fat.
we'll head to the docks to help him with a drug deal. Predictably, it goes bad, as Maury has scammed these dealers in the past and aren't looking to do a deal with him again. You know, with every drug-related mission across every part of GTA 4 going bad, I can't help but think that Rockstar had a subtle anti-drug message thrown into this game. Please ignore the fact there's a whole series of missions, literally labeled Drug Wars, that you can complete after successfully stealing and stashing drugs. Because if you don't, my theory is wrong, and that makes me sad. Anyways, kill the dealers, escape on speedboat, and make use of the new weapon, the sticky bomb, to blow up any remaining dealers. After having to deal with Napoleon's obnoxiousness, I think it's time to hit the club again.
Hey, Steve! How are you, mate? It's so good to see you!
Yeah, it's Luis. How are you, Daisy? You never call me.
Sorry, Leslie. Yeah, I'm great, marvelous. Listen, have you got any coke?
No, I'm sorry.
Not to worry, I don't need it. I more or less stopped doing it now. I only do it at night now.
Here, Luis will bump into an old hookup of his, and sort of friend, Daisy. She's a debutante from London with a drug habit, and possibly jonesing as she's all over the place when Luis first starts talking to her. He's soon roped into helping her out, as some gay action star she gave a handjob to wants to leak the video of it in order to prove he's straight. Probably the weirdest setup for a mission in this series, but whatever, I'm in. It's pretty simple, and really it's just driving around trying to figure out his location based off of his tweets, ending when he puts the video up in the middle of Liberty City. It's nothing particularly special, but as a random encounter mission, it's pretty fun, and Luis's interactions with Daisy are pretty hilarious. Next, let's check in on our dear old boss. Luis doesn't find him, but instead his obnoxious boyfriend, Evan. And I'll let Luis explain the type of person Evan is.
Ay, Dios mío. Evan, look. I always thought that even for a coke pushing steroid junkie, you were a particular asshole. Okay, I'm just gonna admit that. Now, would you shut the fuck up before I shut you up? Now, where's Tony?
He's in the bedroom.
Well said, Luis. We eventually find gay Tony passed out on the floor, severely pilled up. After sobering him up with some impromptu waterboarding, we find out he's a wreck again, as Rocco is threatening to burn down the nightclubs for the insurance money, unless we help him with his union issues again. Things have escalated pretty heavily, as he basically wants us to commit domestic terrorism by blowing up some spots with timed explosives. Well, technically gay Tony was going to do it all on his own, but after some reflection and tough love from Luis...
Try and stop me, huh?
Okay.
Oh!
He takes it upon himself to do the job so his boss doesn't accidentally blow himself up. We also show Evan some love before leaving.
Now fuck off, Evan. You getting the pills. Be gone before I get back.
Our targets are a crane, a subway car, and some guy on a private jet. Once we escape the cops, it's time to meet my favorite character of the DLC, my man, Yusuf Amir.
Hey man, hey nigga, what's up? What's up? So glad you could make it, man. Seriously, fucking A. Yo, for real, man. Yep.
You okay, bro?
No, I'm fine, man. I got a couple of bitches upstairs, hot ones, not cheap.
Nice.
He was briefly mentioned by Playboy X way back during the main story, but this is his first official appearance. Yusuf is everything Roman wishes he was. He sleeps with beautiful women, hits up nightclubs every night, runs $1 billion business, and dips everything he owns in gold like he's gold member.
I love gold!
Though he does abuse his N-word privileges a little too much.
I think you want to moderate your use of the word, bro. It's not fucking cool, alright?
He dreams of owning most of Liberty City, planning to build tons of luxury apartments and skyscrapers. And unlike the other jerks we've been working for, He's genuinely nice to Luis, and shows Gay Tony respect as a business owner, even offering to buy up and franchise his nightclubs. He's also responsible for bringing back the more ludicrous and over-the-top missions this series used to be known for. For example, the first job for him involves us stealing a military helicopter from a bunch of mercenaries. First, Luis will have to sneak onto their yacht by speedboat, avoiding the guards who are patrolling around the ship. Once on board, grab the chopper and fly away, but before heading back to Yusuf, he'll call and ask Luis to kill everyone on board the yacht, as apparently they're all terrorists and have committed some serious war crimes. So as a patriotic American, it's our job to kill those guys. Head back and light up the yacht, and then chase after and finish off the survivors as they try and escape by speedboat. I love this mission, but good God, did I constantly blow it when chasing the survivors, as I was constantly struggling to maintain the helicopter's altitude and shoot them at the same time. The game is really forgiving though, so if you fail it, like I did, when you restart the mission, it will skip ahead to the part you were on, as opposed to starting all the way from the beginning each time. Once all the mercenaries are dead, you can finally drop off the chopper. On my way to do another job for Gay Tony, I end up bumping into another random encounter. Margot. She's a girl that Luis hooked up with in the past, and let's just say she's very clingy.
You never answered my calls.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Or my emails.
Yeah, I meant to. I'm just...
Fucking rude.
Yeah. Look, I got a lot going on.
Did you get the book I sent you?
No.
The flowers?
No, listen, Margot, you're a nice girl, and it was nice hooking up with you, but it was over a year ago.
What's time got to do with anything?
I think this little interaction says more about why Luis didn't want to marry her than I ever could. Unfortunately, she attempts to kill herself, taking a ton of pills before Luis shows up. Lucky for her, he did show up. Otherwise, she'd just be some dead girl outside a gay nightclub. So we gotta get her to the hospital fast. It's kind of funny to see Luis's tone shift so fast. He goes from trying to let her down gently to just outright berating her after she pulled that stunt.
I'm going to die, and it's all your fault.
Oye, pero tú sí que eres loca. Fucking idiot. Get in there. You're the doctor's problem now.
Aren't you coming in? You could hold back my hair when they pump me.
I see enough bulimic bitches at the club, Margot. You're on your own.
I love you.
After dealing with her, we got more girl problems as we meet up with Gay Tony and Gracie Ancelotti. Gracie previously showed up during the base game, getting kidnapped by Nico and Packy McCreary, who hoped to use her to extort her father for money, but ended up getting saved later by Luis and Tony, who wanted to trade the diamonds in exchange for her. She's every bit as unpleasant here as she was in the base game. Maybe more so since she spent most of that time being gagged and tied up.
Oh, look at this bitch behind the wheel. Tony, your extreme queeniness is starting to rub off on the employees.
This is more of a setup mission, as really you're only dropping off Tony at Gracie's place before he gets you to email and arrange a meeting with a blogger known as the Celebrinator. Some douchebag they didn't let into the club one day and who's been bad-mouthing them since. Returning to the club, we're once again doing another job for Rocco. Oh hey Roman.
Ladies, hide your titties!
And if it isn't Mr. Bulgarin.
So how's it going, gentlemen?
The faggot is your boss?
Sure.
Must make for funny times at Bonus.
Hysterical.
Still pleasant as always, I see. This time around, Luis needs to head over to Bahama Mama's, a rival nightclub a few blocks away. He doesn't need to blow up or shoot up the place, just seduce the owner's girlfriend, Monique, while he's out of town. Which of course needs us to use our crazy dance skills yet again. Alrighty, mission accomplished.
What the fuck?
Well, looks like we're going to have to shoot up the place after all. Luis calls up Tony afterwards pissed, as he wasn't expecting the husband to just bust in on him. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure what exactly Rocco's plan was. Use the girlfriend's infidelity as blackmail, maybe? Almost feels like he knew Vic, the owner, was there all along. Like maybe it was a setup. I really can't wait to inevitably kill that asshole. Alright, time to cool off and hang out with our best bud, Yusuf.
Make out that we got shit going down. Going down, my nigga! Anyway, let's go. Let's bounce, baby. When I say bounce, I don't mean bouncing literally. I just mean...
I know what it means, Yusuf.
It's a term from the street, meaning you have to walk. But if you don't get that, it's a bit like roll me. You have to roll me. You're not like a fat man rolling. It means actually just walk. Go? Why don't you just walk?
After he gets off the phone with his papa, he wants us to roll with him to meet his business partners, Ahmed and Tamir. Ahmed briefly showing up in the last mission when we dropped off the buzzard. On the way there, Yusuf briefly talks to him and suspects something's up, getting Luis to head to the top of Rotterdam Tower to check if everything's good. Turns out it's not all good, as the pair set up Yusuf, hoping to get him on wiretap and arrested by Noose, so the two could take over his business.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
While outnumbered, Luis isn't outgunned, as Yusuf hooked him up with an auto shotgun. He took the best weapon of the last DLC and made it even better by giving it explosive rounds. Oof, I fucking love this thing. Take care of the Noose agents and the choppers, and then follow Ahmed to the top of the tower.
What the fuck is going on, man? You just wanted Yusuf out of the picture. Darkness and silence through the night. Tell me what the fuck is going on? What a freedom. I'm searching. Get away from me, you crazy motherfucker! What a fear in my heart.
He'll hand Luis a parachute, begging for his life, before unfortunately he slips.
Believe me! Snitching motherfucker! I didn't do nothing to you!
And takes an express trip down to the ground floor, with Luis parachuting away. Afterwards, you'll unlock base jumping as a side activity. Back to Tony's apartment, we find everyone partying but the boss nowhere in sight. The old guy can't handle his drugs again, and Luis finds him conked out on the floor. After waking him up, he heads to the docks with Evan in tow. It's time to buy some diamonds. If you watched the last video about the Lost and Damned, this is where the diamonds originally came from during the main game, with a ship cook who smuggled them into the country for Ray Bulgarin, stealing some and selling them to Gate Tony. Or attempting to anyway, as the Lost end up crashing the party.
Thanks. Oh shit, Tony, we out of here. Come on, let's go. Evan, take him to the club and don't fuck about, okay?
Evan takes off with the diamonds and is chased by Johnny, while Luis and Gate Tony have to survive and outrun the remaining members of the Lost, which requires using those timed explosives we previously used before. While it's fun blowing them up, they can shred through the limo and kill you if you don't kill them fast enough. And even after getting away, you'll have to drive and outrun the cops after the driver gets blasted. With $2 million down the drain, and the diamonds stolen, Gay Tony is in even deeper shit than before. Before we can dwell too much on that though, we have to go hang out with the annoying Oompa Loompa.
Hey, Lou, come on in. Hang on 1 second. Check. Mate. See ya! Little thicko never went to college. I never got into an Ivy League school. I got into 2! Yeah! Come on, let's get out of here.
We don't have to kill anyone this time around. Instead, get into a triathlon race. First by parachuting off a plane, then hopping on a speedboat, And finally, a regular old car race. Nothing too crazy, but a fun little distraction. And it feels good to put that idiot Maury in his place when you beat him. Tony gives you a call soon after, in much better spirits as we've managed to arrange a sit-down with the Celebinator. We meet the two at the helipad and take to the skies to enjoy the sights of Liberty City. It's another simple and fun mission, as we threaten the guy while holding him out of the plane, before throwing him out of it.
Fun's over, man. Have a nice life. He's an ass, but you gotta save him!
Jump after him and grab him before he splats on the ground.
It kind of looks like you had a little accident. Someone might post a picture of that online.
I feel like shit!
And he learns a valuable lesson about not spreading gossip about the wrong people. The fun doesn't last long though, as first we get called by Ray Bulgarin, who's offering us some work, but it doesn't sound too pleasant. Also, Margot's back, and well, she's more unstable than before. She's threatening to jump and kill herself, and I'll be honest, Luis isn't doing the best job trying to talk her out of it.
Hey, don't apologize. I love keeping people from killing themselves. It's a weird fetish of mine.
No. I mean, I'm sorry we can't be together. You can't have me.
I don't want you. Now, come on, get down from there.
Must be easy for you. Thinking of me as being crazy, it must help.
Yeah, it does, actually.
I mean, I appreciate his honesty, but maybe telling her he doesn't love her would be best saved till after he gets her to safety?
If you loved me, you'd save me.
I don't love you.
I've got a letter telling everyone that you pushed me.
Come on, get over here.
Save me.
Oh, God.
After she hits the pavement, a mob will form and chase Luis, thinking he pushed her. Despite the terrible circumstances, I kinda like this idea of NPCs trying to stop you as opposed to running away from you when shit goes down. Could have been an interesting mechanic to pepper into the game, having to avoid killing civilians while shooting at enemies or something. In some sorta good news, we no longer have to deal with Maury, after we do this last job for him. Which, again, is just another way to deflate his ego as he wants to play a game of follow the leader with Luis and Brucey. The three of them drive sport cars through the streets of Liberty City and follow him to a preset location. And it figures the last mission for such an annoying guy would be the most frustrating as hell. Now, you probably think I'm going to complain about the driving mechanics again, but nope, not this time. Because the car we're driving handles really well. The problem is just the course we're going to have to take, as it has us speeding near the ocean, making tight turns with no guardrails. All with the cops chasing us, so all it takes is overshooting a corner, or taking a turn too tight, to fall right into the water. Somehow this mission took me close to half an hour to complete, but eventually I managed to land on the barge and can say goodbye to Maury. But not before Brucey finds the confidence in himself to stand up to that douchebag.
Man is nothing but beyond pathetic.
That's it, boy! Cut it out! Yeah! Yeah!
Are you kidding?
Yeah! Oh, God! Oh, yeah! What the fuck, man? What the fuck are you doing? Oh, God, you know the rules!
I'm sorry, Maury. I forgot, man.
Never in the face! Oh, come on!
Good for you, Brucey. I knew you always had it in you. Now it's time to swing back by our buddy Yusuf's crib.
Hella, libby, love, hella, them shoulders. We're getting Arab money. We're getting Arab money. Ho!
We find him hanging out and dancing with a prostitute while he's wearing no pants. He's got it into his head to steal a noose tank this time around. But before he can go into the details of his plans, his dad shows up, looking none too impressed to find the state his son is in.
Yusuf! Oh, Papa! What are you doing here? Welcome! Welcome, Papa! This is my business associate, Mr.
Luis.
Mr. Luis. Allah, he is the greatest technical advisor in the whole city. And this is his wife, Jaundice.
Careful, motherfucker!
Yes, and you know, we were just having a little creative meeting and things went a bit crazy and I somehow lost my pants.
I didn't touch on it earlier, but all of Yusuf's money really comes from his dad. Which makes a lot of sense when you think about it, As someone who spends his time mostly doing drugs, having sex with hookers, and pissing money away on stupid things, doesn't sound like a great businessman. After Yusuf shoos Luis away while his dad chews him out, he'll later come back to pick him up in his chopper to go after the tank. And again, this is another frustrating mission as the tank is being transported by chopper, so you have to shoot it down in order to steal it. This requires you to snipe at these 4 tiny anchor points holding onto the tank. And good god, a combination of a moving target, the bullet drop from the rifle, and the oversensitive analog sticks made this a nightmare. This was the only mission throughout all of my GTA 4 playthrough where I had to switch to mouse aim to get it done. It's not over when you shoot it down though, as you have to get in and get away from the cops. And the noose tank is a huge disappointment compared to tanks in previous games, mainly because it's not this invincible and unstoppable force of nature. While it can take out cars in one shot, it can still get damaged. So if you're not careful, you'll blow yourself up along with the cops.
Yusuf, bro, where you at, man?
Over here, man!
Where?
Up here, motherfucker! Shit! Stand back while I pick this thing up!
Okay, man.
Thanks for everything, bro! You're a fucking diamond!
Don't mention it.
After dropping off the tank, Luis meets up with Tony at Hercules. He's not in the best spirits, but he's gotten word that the diamonds are about to be sold, and convinces Luis they should swoop in and grab them. It's the Libertonium Museum mission all over again, though it's a lot more stylish and fun this time around. First, Luis will borrow that buzzard he stole for Yusuf, who's gone ahead and painted it gold. Next, Luis will land on top of the museum and interrupt the deal like he did the last time.
Rest of you motherfuckers wanna die? Do something stupid, okay? Fuck you!
Just get the shit, man! Come on!
But he doesn't stick around for long, as he nabs the diamonds and flies away. Instead of fighting the Jewish mob, he has to deal with the cops, getting into dogfights with their choppers. It's awkward because of the flight mechanics, but a lot more fun compared to killing a bunch of mobsters in the museum for the 3rd time. With the diamonds back in hand, hopefully nothing will happen that will cause us to lose them again. So anyway, Gracie got kidnapped, and Tony is once again a wreck. You know, it's kind of wholesome to see Tony be so worried and care so much for Gracie of all people. From what we saw during the main campaign, her dad, despite being a mob boss, didn't offer much help in saving her, with Tony and Luis having to do the heavy lifting.
Tony, what the fuck are you doing?
No, I'm holding you back. I see that now. The closest thing I've had to a son. I'm sorry, Luis. I love you.
Tony.
Goodbye.
Tony, come on, man.
Goodbye. I love you. Shit.
Fuck! Fuck is wrong with you, you dumb prick? Huh? Get up! Get up so I can kill you myself! Get up!
Okay, I'm sorry.
After Gay Tony tries and fails to kill himself, Luis knocks some sense back into him, and the two formulate a plan to save Gracie. The mission this time around is to follow Packy's car by helicopter, trying to figure out where he stashed Gracie. They get her location, and in the main game, Ancelotti goons would attack that location, needed Nico and Packy to move her. And now it's time to deal with someone I've been avoiding for a while, Ray Bulgarin.
If this painting is not hanging on my wall, your head will be. Okay? Think about that.
You want I should pay visit to his children at their school?
Not yet. I think there's always a prize in this city. Oh, Louis, excuse us. We're being rude.
As a quick recap, Ray Bulgarin is Nico's old boss, who he used to smuggle people for a few years before this game. After a botched job that almost killed Nico, Bulgarin ended up losing a lot of money and assumed that Nico ripped him off. He's the one who had the diamonds smuggled into Liberty City, and also briefly worked with Dmitry Raskolov in order to kill Nico. But he ends up disappearing from the plot of the main game towards the end, and doesn't show up until the DLC. But outside of that, we didn't learn much about his personality, and could only assume he was bad news based off of how fast Dmitry sold Nico out to him, and how screwing up the job for Bulgarin partially motivated Nico to come to Liberty City in the first place. My first impression of him wasn't what I was expecting though. We find him staying in a house in Dukes, on the phone with someone trying to buy a hockey team. He seems a little more chill compared to how he was portrayed in the main game, and honestly reminds me a lot of Mikhail Faustin. Apparently he's squatting in his sister's place, his sister, while never seen, shouting and arguing with him from the floor above.
Yes! Yes!
He asked for Luis's help in killing some crooked news agents, who are planning to plant some phony evidence on Bulgarin. Why are they planting evidence on him? Well, they work for the guy who doesn't want to sell his hockey team to him. No, really, this whole shit starts because Bulgarin won't stop badgering the guy about buying his hockey team. Luis, Bulgarin, and Bulgarin's right-hand man, Timur, will head for the car park that the news agents are planning to raid and plant evidence. The trio will arrive first, rigging Bulgarin's car with a sticky bomb, and ambushing the feds once they show up. Kill all the feds, and then escape from the survivors.
Welcome! Welcome to the party! Sit down, sit down.
Sure.
Can I get you anything? A drink? Something stronger, huh?
I'm cool, bro.
You know how to play the drums? We need a fucking drummer.
I ain't your man, bro. Sorry.
The following mission starts off with Bulgarin and Timur just rocking and playing guitar. It's such a weird thing to see from someone who's supposed to be this ruthless Russian boss. All his attempts to buy the Rampage hockey team have fallen through. So he asks Luis to kill the owner, Ashveli, so he can swoop in and buy the team. Luis isn't interested in being a contract killer, but Bulgarin basically forces him to do it. See, now that's more of what I was expecting. He'll leave to do the job, with Timur tagging along to keep an eye on Luis, and make sure he does what he's told. After flying a chopper up above the building where the target is located, Luis will parachute onto the roof to try and sneak in quietly. Keyword here is try, as he's immediately caught on camera and will have to fight off Ashveli's security, which is easier said than done, as you'll be fighting several guards per floor, in narrow hallways with little cover, so you'll get shredded to pieces if you're not careful.
With the Latin girl, I thought she was of age. She looked...
After you find and kill Ashveli, you'll have to parachute out of the window to safety, where Timur will pick you up in his truck. Or not, as if you don't land on the truck, he abandons you to escape on his own.
Fucking asshole!
Making it back to Bulgarin, he seems really on edge, arguing with his sister again, and possibly injuring her when he shoots at the ceiling.
Shut up, you cunt! Shut up, you fucking cunt!
Hey, man, is she okay?
Ignore her, Luis. The diamonds.
He asks Luis about the diamonds Tony has, offering to buy them before he asks Luis to sit on a deal with Timur. The fact he's asking about them can't be good, because as you recall, the diamonds belong to Bulgarin in the first place, though Luis doesn't know that. On the way to the deal, Luis will pick up a sniper rifle from Armando, and arrive on the rooftop where he's supposed to find Timur. He ends up finding someone else instead.
You're in position. Do you see a box in front of you?
Yeah.
Open it. Do you recognize that?
Shit!
I believe you parted with him in a diamond deal.
Yeah, Bulgarin's not playing around, as he's pissed once he's found out that Luis and Gay Tony were in on the diamond deal. You'll be pinned down by a small army of snipers, so you'll have to make effective use of cover and take pot shots at the shooters in order to survive. And things escalate when a chopper shows up, along with goons with assault rifles. After getting away, Luis will call up Tony to let him know what went down, and that Bulgarin wants them dead. Well, we're really in it this time. And unfortunately, we can't make a peace offering with the diamonds, as it's time to exchange them for Gracie. We'll meet up with Nico and Packy in order to do the swap, and ironically end up leaving just before Bulgarin shows up to confront Nico. In the main game, this was the last time we saw the diamonds, as a goon working for Bulgarin ended up tossing them onto a passing truck, out of spite before he died. We're near the end of the game now, and before we have to deal with all the dumb shit we've been wrapped up in all game, we've got one last job for our main man, Yusuf. If you thought stealing a buzzard helicopter and a tank were insane, well, those were nothing compared to what he wants now.
Alright then, what we after?
Wait for it.
I'm waiting.
You ready?
Just fucking tell me, bro.
A motherfucking subway train! Oh yeah, baby! The prize of the fleet! The ass-fucking flagship of the LTA! Give it up!
Luis will have to jump onto a moving train, miraculously not breaking any of his bones when he lands on it. He now has to make his way to the lead subway car to disconnect it with a bomb. But the LCPD aren't going to make it easy for him. Yusuf has hooked you up with explosive rounds again for the auto shotgun. But it's still a tough mission as you're completely exposed on top of the train. You'll need to walk in with full health and body armor, along with killing enemies and choppers almost as soon as they spawn in order to survive. Now if you do manage to disconnect the subway car, how the hell are you even supposed to steal the thing? Well, Yusuf's got that covered. Man, I love that crazy son of a bitch. Things go sour soon after though, as Rocco will call up. Bulgarin's been talking to Ancelotti, and he wants Luis and Gay Tony dead, because of the mess with the diamonds.
That's what I told him. That shit would never have happened back in the day.
What's up, ladies? Still living the high life, I see.
Fuck you.
What you doing here, cruising?
It's very funny.
Meeting Rocco and his uncle Vince in the park, they give Luis an ultimatum. Kill Tony or die alongside him. Heading back to Mason at 9, Rocco and Vince are already waiting there with Tony. Forced into a corner, Luis has no choice about what he has to do next.
Do it!
Sorry. I'm sorry, man.
After all we've been through, Lou!
I'm sorry, T. You was family, man. But it's either you or all of us.
The Russians are coming, man! We don't got time for this gay shit!
Fucking pop them already!
You fucking moron!
Hey, I had second thoughts, man.
You fucking killed yourself just then!
What, did you expect him to betray Tony? Come on. Despite how his boss constantly screwed up and made things increasingly worse for them throughout the game, Luis remains loyal. How could he ever turn his back on the man who gave him a chance at a better life, and was basically the father he never had? That said, rather infuriatingly, despite how much I was wishing it throughout this video, we don't get to put one between Rocco's eyes. Tony stops us since Rocco's a made man, which feels like such a flimsy excuse. The whole game portrayed him more as a hired thug than anyone of any real note in the Ancelotti family. And what does it matter if they do kill him? Ancelotti was more than happy to give them both up to the Russians. So would it be any different if they came after the pair? Also, why wouldn't the mob come down on them after Rocco reports that they killed Vince? Hell, the majority of the game seemed to set up Rocco as the final boss. Or at least that he'd get his comeuppance for all his bullshit racism and homophobia. But nope, one throwaway line is enough to spare the guy as he walks out of the club. But at least he'll get his in GTA 5. No time to dwell on that Guido prick though, as an army of Russian assassins storm the club. This opening section can be brutal if you're not prepared, as your cover is terrible, the railing on the second floor offering close to no protection as you attack the enemies below. And it's really easy for one of them to get past you, up the stairs, and shoot you from behind. Best bet is to throw explosives down there to kill groups of them at once. Once you've escaped the club, head back to Tony's apartment, where you find him packing and ready to go on the run. Luis talks him out of it, and convinces him to stand their ground and take care of the Russians and Bulgarin. First is dealing with Bulgarin's drug stream, which is being run out of Firefly Island, Bulgarin taking over the business after Nico kills Dimitri in the main game. Luis will sneak into the closed-off amusement park, Funland, and start destroying the drug vans along with killing Bulgarin's men.
Ray flies away now, pretty boy! You are too late to get it! Fuck you! You think he will forget about you? You and all your friends are dead! Yeah, that ain't happening, Timmy!
After a brief showdown with Timur, Luis has 2 hours to get to the airport and stop Bulgarin from escaping back to Russia. But with an army of hitmen still chasing him, how the hell is he gonna get there? God, I love this bastard. With Yusuf clearing the way, Luis makes it to the airport just as Bulgarin's plane is taking off. Despite being cornered by Luis, Bulgarin has one last trick up his sleeve. He pulls the pin on a grenade, threatening to kill both of them if Luis shoots. He takes his chances and finally puts that Russian scumbag down once and for all.
You can't shoot me! You'll blow a whole plane up! I'll take my chances.
And miraculously doesn't die when half the plane explodes. Back on the ground, Luis will meet up with Tony at their agreed upon meeting spot in Duke's. And we get some closure over what happened to the diamonds after they were lost getting traded for Gracie. Enjoy them, old man. Don't go spending your new riches all at once. Luis and gay Tony have a heart-to-heart while staring at the monoglobe, reminiscing about the past and looking forward to the future now that they're finally in the clear. Even though Rocco's still alive and there's nothing stopping the mob from still coming after them, best GTA character Yusuf will join the pair, congratulating them on their survival, and the trio walk away into the sunset, happily ever after.
Luis, I love you, man. I love you! I love you too. I love everyone! Come on, let's get out of here. Oh, by the way, I think my father may be into franchising clubs.
I know, franchise is not the way to go. The club is all about the people.
Fuck the people! Fuck them all! Whip out your dick and piss all over them!
You're gonna go a long way in hospitality, my friend.
And that was the Ballad of Gay Tony. Man, what a ride that was. Like I brought up way back at the beginning of the video, this expansion ended up being my favorite part of the entire GTA 4 experience. It had a lot more mission variety with some crazy and over-the-top set pieces, most of them courtesy of Yusuf. The story found the right balance of seriousness and wackiness, not leaning too hard one way or the other. Still keeping me invested in some more serious moments, even after doing some insane things like stealing a subway car. Luis and Gay Tony make a great pair, their dynamic and friendship being a huge highlight of the DLC. As despite all the shit that goes down, and their various personality flaws, you can tell they really care about each other. Best exemplified towards the end when Luis chooses to stick with Tony, instead of executing him, even though he probably had every right to considering all of Tony's fuck-ups. Luis ended up being my favorite of the three protagonists. Obviously, this is very subjective and will be different for everyone, but he just felt the most relatable to me. It was easy to understand the circumstances he was stuck in. His desire to do better in life, the criticisms he gets from just about everyone for even trying, and constantly having to be the fixer in the lives of his friends and family. But I also liked his more carefree attitude, his bluntness, and his loyalty as a friend. The side characters introduced were a lot more interesting and memorable, Yusuf of course being the shining highlight. I do have some issues with the story, mainly in that I feel Bulgarin was kind of shoehorned in as the final boss. While it is true the whole mess with the diamonds starts with him, I don't feel like it has enough history and interaction with Luis and Tony to justify his inclusion. As I brought up in the first video when discussing the main game, I think it made more sense for him to be Nico's final boss, since the two have a history together. And since Dimitri was working for him, it would have made more sense for Bulgarin to usurp him as the final boss in that one ending, as opposed to Jimmy Pecorino. Rocco antagonizing Luis and Gay Tony from the very beginning, constantly dragging them into trouble, escalating issues, and of course being a racist, homophobic piece of shit, would have made a much more satisfying final boss, a game's worth of hatred finally boiling over when we get to kill him. Instead, it's just hand-waved away while we can't kill him, and he disappears for the last part of the game. Things like the scoring system I'm still not a fan of. As I brought up before, you are free to ignore it since you don't need to achieve a certain percentage score to pass a level, but I feel like it really railroads the player to finish missions a certain way, as opposed to letting them get creative. And it doesn't help that you can't replay a mission unless you beat the game or reload a save. To sum up my thoughts on the Ballad of Gay Tony, it was a much needed breath of fresh air over the overly serious and scripted experience of the base game. It added much needed variety to the missions, more interesting characters, and in my opinion at least, a more likable protagonist than Luis Lopez. It's a fitting end to the whole GTA 4 experience, and honestly, I wouldn't mind revisiting Luis and Gay Tony again. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll pop up in GTA 6. Hopefully they don't end up screwing them over like they did Johnny in 5 though. It's been a blast revisiting GTA 4, and I'm hoping these long videos may have convinced a few of you to give it and its DLC a chance. While it may feel a little dated in certain parts, and a bit too scripted in other areas, it's absolutely worth returning to. And that's the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Ooh man, it feels so good to finally finish this experience. Like I said at the end of my GTA 4 video, I wasn't originally planning to cover the DLC, at least not right away, but since the video did so well, even despite its length, I thought, hell, why not? And I'm glad I did. It was great to reconnect with these characters and see their stories play out again. As someone who became wishy-washy about the series after GTA 5, it was nice to return to this franchise after so many years. Let me know what you guys thought down below. I'm also debating cutting all 3 videos together into a long supercut, so let me know if you guys are down about me doing that. There's a couple things I'd end up cleaning up if I decide to do that, but for the most part the videos would remain the same. Been doing some work behind the scenes and I'm planning to try something different for the next video. So keep your eyes peeled out for that, though I'm not sure when the next video will be done. But it should be before the end of July. Again, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. Do you like GTA 4? Did you prefer the base game or the DLC? Let me know your thoughts and comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. I'm FuzzySlippers, and I'll see you later. Peace.